Through my first 54 years of work developing my views of science and of neuroscience in particular as an active neurosurgeon, I had come to buy into the conventional scientific model that the brain is the producer of consciousness. This derives from the notion of physicalism, that is, that only physical stuff exists. The problem is, no one has ever been able to connect those dots and to show how the physical workings of the brain might relate to conscious experience. Not only that, there's plenty of evidence that the brain is not the producer of consciousness. Things like terminal lucidity, where elderly demented patients often have great reflection and memory and communication as they approach death at a time when they might have spent weeks without being able to utter a meaningful phrase. Also acquired savant syndromes, where people with some form of brain damage, whether it be a head injury, stroke, autism, or what have you, unmask superhuman mental capacities. And also recent studies on psychedelic drugs, especially using functional MRI and magnetoencephalography, that shockingly show that the most profound psychedelic experiences are actually associated with the greatest shutting down of the physical activity of the brain. Now, this is something that was brought to me personally in my near-death experience, where meningitis, destruction of the neocortex, actually allowed for a far more robust, ultra-real experience of a reality that is very difficult to put into words. So we're finding that the brain is not the producer of consciousness at all, but the scientific model that is replacing that is known as filter theory. This is the notion that consciousness is primordial, it's fundamental, that the entire observable physical universe emerges out of consciousness itself, and that consciousness is therefore primordial, as in fact the founders of quantum physics, Werner Heisenberg and Paul Dirac, Louis de Broglie, Max Planck, and others all tried to tell us consciousness is fundamental. Well, in living in a mindful universe, we go a long way towards consolidating all of that thinking as part of the awakening of the scientific world and synthesis of science and spirituality in the awakening of humanity.